Genesis X, the biggest Super Smash Bros. Melee tournament of the year, happened recently, and boy was it a hoot. There were 1,544 sweaty gamers all under one roof to determine which one was the sweatiest, and I got pretty damn close. Going into it, I won't lie, I was a tad bit nervous, but I dove to the depths and tried my best, and I want to talk to you guys about it. My trip actually started the Tuesday before the event. Mango rented out this giant Airbnb a couple days before Genesis so that some of the top players could fly out early, stay there, and get some practice in with each other. The first night was a disaster because we drank and I may have got a bit too drunk and puked, and it wasn't really a pretty sight to behold at all, but hey, you know what? The next day, that's when the magic happened, baby. I gamed with the best players in the world, and I was feeling pretty goddamn hot, and that's important because recently I just got ranked number 4 in the world, and while I know that I've been performing super well, it's kind of hard to not have some kind of imposter syndrome about it all because I got ranked above some people who I've been watching since literally high school. So playing everyone and doing very well against them was a huge confidence boost for me.
Out of this conversation. What the What the fuck, man?
And with this confidence, we start our bracket run with round 1 pools. I wasn't put on stream at all for it, and I had a couple close games, but ultimately, I just played good enough to make it through without dropping a game. Round 2 pools is when the scary part of the run begins. My first set was off stream. I threw out a pretty decent Falco player named Dusk, but honestly, all of the games were pretty close. Admittedly, at this point of bracket is always when I feel the most nervous. I think it's because my opponents keep getting harder and harder, but if I lose, it's still seen as a big deal. So it can be hard to fully dial in and play my best since it feels like there's a lot of outside pressure on me. That said, my next set against Dawson, I think I played very well. I remember game 1 specifically, I was cooking and ended it with a cool running shine to forward air to up air combo, which I don't know if anyone clipped, but hey, at least I thought it was pretty rad.
What the fuck? Oh my god! What the absolute fuck?
The rest of the set, I was in control the whole time and feeling good. I won 3-0 and made it into top 64. Now, top 64 is where things get dicey. Even looking at my bracket before the event, it really felt like somebody had it out for me. Like, genuinely, it was my nightmare bracket from hell. First off was Ossify, which, if you don't know, he's a cracked Marth who recently took Zane Game 5, and he actually recently just took a set off of Mango as well.
You think this was Grants the way people are yelling?
Oh, is that it? That's
There we go!
He is like the next guy up, basically, like almost certainly. Going into this set, I knew that he liked to swing his little sword, but I was having trouble picking out the spots in which he actually would. He swings and takes risks in spots that are legitimately very good. He is just a very talented player, and he has a pretty unique playstyle.
Oh my god.
We went back and forth. He clutched on me a couple games,
Oh my god.
and then I clutched on him a couple games.
Wow, and Moky threading the needle right there will find a kill, even it right back up, dude.
Specifically, people were saying Ossify choked game 4.
Okay, it's his grab here. What does he find?
How
What does he
committed
find?
are you, Ossify?
He went for the spot
Wait, 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 wait.
dodge.
Oh, no, he got
he
jumped,
clipped
he
the
got
back
jumped,
air. Clipped the back air.
Hang on.
Oh,
Oh,
no, he
overcommitted.
overcommitted. He overcommitted.
Dude, he
But
overcommitted.
that was actually Randall was right there, and Curtis is popping off right now.
And I will put my foot down and say, hey, while he did miss the edge guard at the end, I SD'd at the start of the game too, man. Like come on.
No, that was supposed to be a shine. You can see the shock on Moky's face for that too. I mean, it's
The last game, I pulled it together and think I played really well.
that caught jab too.
Wait,
Oh
these guys
my
are
God.
playing nuts. Stop.
I'm actually super happy with the win because I think Ossify is the type of player that would have farmed me a couple years ago, and me being able to stay dialed in and get the win shows my improvement as a competitor. Next up is Triff, which again, if you know me, you know I had a phase where I was getting clobbered by every single peach I ran into in bracket. It didn't matter if they were top 20 in the world, and it didn't matter if they were bottom 20 in the world. Somehow, I would always find a way to lose. Unfortunately, this set versus Triff wasn't on stream, but shoutouts to Jackzilla for capturing it with his phone camera because otherwise it might have been lost for good. Game 1, I got destroyed. I knew Triff was patient, but I don't think it clicked in my head just how reserved I'm going to have to play. So for game 2, I tried to use a bit of spite to amp myself up a bit. To put it bluntly, I played like a dick. I camped, I taunted, and we had a long game that I ended up winning.
It's right there. Oh, he's all over him. Ooh. Moky brings it back, 1-1.
The next 2 games were on FD, and I just played the matchup amazingly in my opinion. Especially in the last game, I actually almost 4-stalked him. I heard some people say it was some of the best Fox versus Peach play that they've ever seen, which again, that's growth, baby.
Is it over? It's over. Moky with the 3-1. Big game 1 win for Triff, and then Moky pulls back 3 straight, 2 straight on FD.
Next up was Leffen to make top 8, and it was just awful, man.
Left it.
I don't know what it is, but I've been getting my head versus Leffen a bit at the last couple times I played him. I felt like the whole set I was actually winning neutral a lot and kind of outplaying in those spots, but every single time I got the hit, I would fumble the bag like just so tremendously hard, man. I didn't hit a tech chase, I was missing up airs, it was just so ugly. I think knowing that if I lose, I'm going to have to hear some dumb shit about how little he plays or whatever other excuse really irks me, and it's something I'm going to have to get over because, like, I don't know. I just played ass. That said, my tournament wasn't done. There was always losers, and waiting for me was Meds, who was quite frankly having the tournament of his life.
Oh, okay.
Does that come?
Forward smash. That's it.
That's it.
With the pop ball.
Slide-offs. Like, yeah, there's a lot of specifically that. And Moky did not catch his jump. Mets going for that. Okay, so
May not matter.
back throw. Whoa! Oh my god!
He clutched 2 quick games on me, and there I was on the verge of getting 9th place. His Marth was throwing me off guard because it was so different than any of the Marths I've played. But the one thing I realized was that pretty much every time he would move forward, he would do a neutral air or something similar enough. So I changed my whole game plan to literally just be focusing on dealing with that. I was up smashing it and using platforms to try to get a good angle to hit Marth's exposed head during the move. It worked wonders, and somehow, someway, I ended up clawing my way back and completing the reverse 3-0 to secure my spot and loser side top 8.
Up smash, that's gonna do it. Moky, I mean, clawing it back in an unbelievable fashion. Yeah, I know what that look. I know what that is, Meds.
Now, I won't lie. At this point, I was already pretty happy with my run. I beat the people I was expected to beat, but for me, those specific people were very difficult. And for those who don't know, at Genesis, they rent out this big theater that you play in for top 8, and I was just excited to get the chance to play on that stage. My first match in top 8 was against Wizrobe, and there's actually a bit of history there for me. I lost to Wizrobe last year at a tournament called Riptide, and in the moment, I was okay with it. I honestly felt pretty burnt out traveling at the time, and I don't think I played my best in that set, but I was just happy to have the chance to play him, since last year he had some health issues that prevented him from going to too many events. That said, when I got home, I saw so many comments about how I'm overrated, and I've only been performing as well as I have been because people like Wizrobe haven't been around as much. And I think it was actually the most depressed I've ever been after an event. The whole day after I got home, I just stayed in bed and I didn't do anything. And then I just thought to myself, wow, I am never letting this happen again. And then I started up a Google Docs page of all my peers and game plans for all of them, and the main one at the time was Wizrobe. I used those notes to beat him at the big house.
To make this tricky for Moky, but the problem is Moky keeps getting the next hit.
Oh my
Up air, is that just gonna be it? It is at the taunt to close it out 3-1.
And was hoping to repeat it here at Genesis. And honestly, I repeated it and more. I just have no idea why I played so well, but I executed my plan flawlessly. The first 2 games specifically just were not that close. That said, Wizrobe definitely didn't play his best, but honestly, I'm very happy with how I played and think it's some of the best I've ever played in my life. Just a very clean 3-0.
That's it.
Up smash.
Oh,
no,
no.
he
Okay,
KOs him.
After Wizrobe, I had Jmook, which also, I guess, has a bit of backstory to it. I've never beaten Jmook in my life, at least in person, and the last set we played, I felt like I was poised to take it, but then his controller broke mid-game while I was up 2-1.
He looked down. He looked down.
No.
Impossible. I don't like this. I don't like this.
And the decision was that we were to replay the entire game, and I ended up losing the set.
Whoa.
So for this Genesis set, I really wanted to dial in and win and get my revenge for it all. Game 1, I kind of ran away with it a bit. I was hitting some crucial shine spikes and just playing the matchup solidly. Game 2, he started to put it together a bit more and was in the lead the whole game.
Oh,
There's
beautiful.
the corner. Yeah, that's gonna do it.
Okay, that's the
Need more of
Jmook we
that.
know and love.
But I started mounting the babies of comebacks.
Crazy CC scramble right there. Oh, no jump right now on Jmook. Hang on.
Yeah, good awareness from Moky.
Both of them kind of flubbing a little bit.
Though ultimately he held it down and won the game.
Okay, DI's
Good DI
away.
the forward tilt.
Amazing DI away to just give himself one more chance.
Game 3 was a hectic one. We kept getting especially stupid transformations on Pokemon Stadium, and for God knows what reason, Jmook kept trying to fight me in there.
Oh, he goes in there?
So risky, so risky,
Oh.
Jmook. Why are you down here, Jmook?
He actually,
He's still going? Jmook!
yeah, this is insanity right now. This should be an
Why are
infinite.
you in this position, Jmook?
Oh my goodness, you really did this to
You did
yourself.
this to yourself, my guy.
And Fox wins those, so I clutched out.
Okay, if you go in that tree, I swear to God, Jmook.
I
Turn
know
the
it's tempting.
needles. Oh, Moky's the one that's
Oh,
gonna
knocked
push.
out.
Oh, hang on a minute.
Moky's greedy this
Hang
time.
on a minute. Oh,
Wait, whoa. Back throw? What are you doing? Who
no
happens
way,
here?
no way. Jmook, why?
You could have just got it out, J-Move.
Game 4, I don't really have much to say other than I got fucked up. And he played really well.
It felt like everything's been on his side.
It was really just the infinites, right?
Yeah, it's just infinite.
Oh, the double needle. Oh!
Oh, in the
And
train!
he has
In the
to
train!
make it
In the
stylish.
train!
In the moment, I told myself to just forget it, dial in, it's my stage counter pick, let's just play my game. And that's what I did. I played fantastic.
Using that definitely to his advantage, but
Yeah.
yeah, Fox does hit super duper
Fox
hard
hit
right
super
here.
hard on the stage. You throw them up, and then, yeah, this is what
And they
happens.
never come
I picked my spots well, and every time I got a hit, I felt like I took it the distance and really made it count. I was hitting so hard this game, and I was always in control. So I won Game
Classic
5 versus
blunders.
J-Mook.
Horrible way to go out.
Speaking of the classic blunders, the missed ledge dash.
As stoked as I was to finally beat J-Mook, I couldn't relish in it too much because I still had more to do. And my next match was versus another guy who I'd never beaten, Zane. Now I was feeling pretty good about it, all things considered. Zane is one of my boys, probably my closest friend who's a top player, and in our practice sessions as of late, I really feel like I've been piecing some things together and figuring out a lot. That said, he just played fucking amazing versus me for some reason.
Right? I know Zane and Mango have tended to be very hard matchups for Moky in particular.
He was mixing me up a lot and was doing a lot of things I've never seen him do. I actually think it was the best he's ever played against me, if I'm honest, and that's not me coping. I was honestly just really impressed.
Oh,
my god, I was thinking
man,
forward
my man
smash.
hit him with the error.
I don't think I played amazingly versus him, but I also don't think I played bad. It was just one of those sets where I felt like at the level I was playing at, I couldn't really compete with the level he was playing at, and I got pretty trounced. All things considered though, you know, I can't be too bummed. I ended up placing 4th out of 1,544 entrants, which really isn't that bad, and the crazy thing to me is that last year I got 3rd place at Genesis, and it was a huge surprise to everybody because it was like my breakout run. And this year I got 4th place, and it was just what I was like expected to get. It was literally the seed that I was given. The fact that within 1 year I was able to accomplish so much and manage to be consistent enough that I'm expected to be getting top 4 at the biggest and hardest tournaments that there are is a pretty good accomplishment in my opinion, and I'm pretty proud about it. That said, this is not the end. My goal now is to take home gold at one of these major tournaments since that isn't something I've done yet, and that's just what I'm gunning for. Thanks for watching, and I promise I'll get my win.